It's Steve's fault we're late.
It's always my fault.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good to see you. We were talking and
Steve is the official scapegoat this morning.
Yeah, I know. It's pick on Steve this morning, but that's okay.
He's the back on track scapegoat.
Oh, goodness.
Well, tell us who's here, Steve.
Well, let's take a look here. Okay, we got Mark Pruitt. Good morning, Mark. Al Marr, JD Grandpa Rails. Good morning, John. John Dawson. Hey, Gail's in here this morning. Stephen Wigwag. Steve Anderson. Steve, you need to come on the show. Let's see. Steve Childers. Did I say Rob T Man? I did. Dwayne, Fork and Spoon. Good morning, Dwayne. Floyd Robbins. Steve Childers. Dave BNSF. Let's see. John Knopfel. I think it's Knopfel, right? Steve Childers. Good morning, Steve. Let's see. Who did I miss? Okay. I'm sure I missed somebody. We got Joe Rader. Good morning, Joe. He popped in. John Benecki. I think it's Benecki, right? John. Okay, this is a good one. Del Marva and Northern Rail Fan. Good morning. How are you? Anyway, good morning. I don't know if I missed anybody.
Good morning. Well, Bill's not with us this morning. I don't have anything from him, so I don't know why he's not here. But he's not here, so he's pulling a Shannon on us. But anyway, we're here with the rest of us.
The regular nut house.
Yeah, the regular insane asylum. So I don't know, we were kind of talking about what we got for Christmas and all that stuff, which I didn't get anything, so I was not a good boy this year. I guess.
I'm never good.
But anyway, yeah, we were talking about that. So, let us know what you guys got for Christmas and if you got any railroad stuff. I didn't get anything, so any railroad stuff. I got some golf balls, and that's all I got. Golf balls and some chocolate.
I got a sign.
What is it?
What is that?
It says
It's a
Otter
sign.
Creek in Rio Grande.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it metal?
Oh, it's lit up too.
Yep, it's metal. It's all lit up. It changes colors.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's got a steam locomotive on it. It's kind of hard to see from here.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Gail got you that?
Yep.
Nice.
I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet.
Nice job, Gail.
Won't interfere with the backdrop, but I'll figure it out eventually. I might be able to put it on the fascia in an area where I've got a lot of fascia. That's kind of my thought at the moment.
Yeah. That would be a good place.
Put it somewhere where you see it a lot in your videos.
Yeah, maybe on the backside, right across from where you're sitting now, as you come in the door, you see it when you come in the door.
Yeah, that's exactly kind of where I'm thinking it will go.
Yeah, that'd be a good spot for it.
Well, Stephen Wigwag, he got a lump of coal, and Dwayne got a bunch of scenery stuff. Let's see. Oh, Roy Hardwick popped in. Hey, Roy. Let's see who else is in here. Anybody new? We got 31 people in chat, and we're not even talking about anything. Whoa.
I guess Gail got you the sign. Anderson figures you just get a frying pan to hang in there. So it'd be handy to pop you in the head with. Well, I didn't get anything, so, mine was kind of boring. No, we had a good Christmas, but we're getting ready to go on this cruise. So I won't be here the next 2 weeks. So we'll leave it up to Dennis to do the show.
Ooh,
That's gonna be
Bernard
his
got a
fall.
Western Pacific Heritage 1983 GP7. That's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Oh, there you go.
Cool.
Morning, Randy.
Oh, Randy's here. Good to see you, Randy.
Hey, Randy. Hey, Anderson, I saw you on Sparky's live stream on Christmas morning. We were talking about you in the green room, that you actually look normal
You're
as
gonna have
opposed to,
elaborate.
you know,
As opposed to how he acts.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's true. It got us into reminiscing about the trip when we went out to see Steve and hanging around the Train Mountain and stuff. That was a lot of fun. But anyway, so what have you been doing, Dennis, besides hanging up signs?
Well, I've actually done quite a little bit. Aside from finishing the grain elevator, I've started working on the turntable. Just got started on it yesterday afternoon. I've operated the layout. I think I've run like 4 trains in the last couple of days. Been just kind of relaxing. I finished all of the bench work, at least for now, up there in Hellgate. I've got it all put in and whatnot.
Did you get your track kinks fixed?
Yes. As a matter of fact, there should be the 453s coming around right now. I started at the same time we started the show. See if it makes an entire loop back. It'll be interesting to see how long that takes if I don't run into any problems.
So you've got a return loop up there set up right now on the other end?
I only have a return loop on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And we'll see how long it takes to get back up there. And of course, where my turntable is, that's not lit up. So if the train hits that, it stops.
Well, it's passing right behind you there now, looks like.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Oh, excuse me.
So is that train going around the whole
Other
track?
than that, I really haven't.
Is that going around the whole?
It's going to circumnavigate the whole railroad. Yeah.
Okay.
Do what?
Okay. I don't know why. I didn't think that you had.
If everything goes well.
Loop.
But if
I
there's
didn't think
no
you had
issues.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do anything on my layout except I did clean it up for Christmas. So anybody that wanted to see it could see it, without having to step over everything. And I took some pictures, and one of them is the picture you saw on the thumbnail of the show. That's up on the top deck with the lights out, the room lights out. Thought it made a nice little scene right there.
Yeah.
So I took that picture. I don't know if I think I have it. No, I didn't put the other one up there. I don't think. Anyway, but yeah, I haven't gotten in there. I'm planning on getting in and doing quite a bit after I get back from this trip. We're getting ready to go on, so hopefully that'll happen and I'll get some of that done, get an update out and all that mess. I've just been not feeling it the last couple 3 weeks, so haven't been in there. But how's yours coming along, Jerry?
Yeah.
You haven't done anything either?
I haven't done nothing.
And Steve's talking about tearing out his and redoing it.
No, I'm not talking about it. I said if I had time, I would. Which ain't gonna happen.
That's talking about it, Steve.
Well, it's talking. Well, yeah. That doesn't mean I'm gonna do it. Gerald Stewart, he got a booking quest of Colorado narrow gauge, 1950 to 51. I'll bet Claude has that one.
Which one now?
Where did I see that? Colorado narrow gauge, 1950 to 51.
Oh, a book?
Yeah, Quest of Colorado, I guess.
No, I don't have that one. I do have several, but for sure we're in the bookcase over there. In fact, I've got one I want to give you, Dennis. It's a ring-bound book of rolling stock. So if you want to actually model any rolling stock, it'd be great for that. That's what I got it for. So I,
It's all Denver, Rio Grande.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, it's right. Let me grab it right here.
Yeah, one of the things that I got myself for Christmas, since we're talking about Christmas presents, I got 2 of the Gatto Model Works reefers.
What is it?
And I don't know when I'm gonna paint them up, but I'm gonna do that maybe before the end of winter. I don't know.
What are these things you got?
Talking about me?
No, Dennis.
I haven't even taken them out of the package yet. See if I can. I don't know. They're reefers. They're just the Denver and Rio Grande style.
You don't have to open them. I didn't understand what they were.
No.
Refrigeration cars. These are the kind that would have been used. You put ice in them.
Yeah, who makes them?
Are those Blackstone?
This is Gatto Model Works. So they're 3D printed. Pretty good. Uh-oh, looks like this one's broke. So I might have to hit him back for that. All of the innards should be on the inside. Yeah, all of the stuff to put it together. It comes with
that's
a
good. And who makes that? Gatto
Model Works, Cat Model Works. But this is a size guide for the handrails, the grab rails, grab irons.
You got to make your own?
I think he provides plastic ones.
Okay.
I'm not overly impressed with the plastic ones, so I make my own or get them off a Grant line. That's disappointing.
What is it? What broke?
With the bolsters, is that the right term?
Where the
Queen's.
No, the
Queen post.
The queen posts are the ones that hold the rods, the draw rods.
Yeah, that's what that would be then, right?
Yeah, they're the ones that stick up high, or the queen post.
Yeah, okay, I see.
The bolsters are where the trucks attach.
Yeah, these are the bolsters.
Yeah,
that would be queen post.
Those are queen post. Yeah.
I guess he's gonna have to send you another one. Check the other one too now.
Yeah, I better.
Hey, I got an offer from Roy. He said he's got time. He's got to be home on January 13th, though, for a sleep study. And if I pay for his flight here, his room, and his board, he'll tear out my layout and rebuild it for me.
Well, there you go.
Let's see. Flight,
and as much
room,
as you've
and
been
board.
working, you have the money. So there you go.
Man.
Here's that book I want to give you. Let me get mine bigger here.
Cool.
Yeah, it's.
Nice
I mean, it's got so much information in it. It's not even funny. Here's kind of a idea of what's in it. Move this way.
Man, that's right up Dennis's alley.
Yep.
Make it this way. But just about any year or serial number range or any of that stuff, they're in here from between 1871 and 1981.
That's
There's
pretty
quite a bit
cool.
of written stuff. There's pictures.
Well, I tell you,
It's, I mean,
Dennis.
it's a pretty big book.
Claude takes good care of you, Dennis.
Well, I just want somebody to have it. I mean, I bought it on eBay.
Yes, he does.
$5-10, something like that. It wasn't very much. But I always want somebody to use it. If I'm not going to use it, I want it to get used by somebody that will appreciate having it. So,
Yeah, he'll appreciate it.
but yeah, that if you were to build, scratch build all your stuff, kind of like Jack Burgess, you know who he is, modeler. He did the line going up.
The
into
name
Yosemite.
sounds familiar.
He's the one that modeled the line going up into Yosemite. Well, I think he scratch builds all of his stuff. All his rolling stock and everything gets scratch built. So that would be perfect for scratch builder.
Gail, oh man, Gail says she sounds like a deal. Someone pays for her flight, room, and board. She'll go hang out on the beach in Tahiti for a while.
She would.
I thought Gail just liked going to the lake.
Any beach will suit her.
Yeah.
If there's
she can
water,
just think of the
and a
Pacific
beach.
Ocean as a lake.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this one turned out fine.
Yeah, those are pretty nice.
You must resin print them.
It
I
probably.
will
To
hit
get
him
really
up.
good detail, I have to be resin.
I can't think. I think his first name is Eric. I can't think of what his last name is, but he's kind of like Simon Cox or some of these
How
other
did you
guys.
find
It's
him?
really accessible. And
How did you find this dude?
so if you search for any kind of freight cars on eBay, they'll come up. And he also has Facebook posts that pop up on some of the stuff, and people have shared it.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. He might be a member of the HO Narrow Gauge Facebook page. I can't remember. I think that might have been when I first saw his. I've actually built one already. That's the Humanity Junction car.
Oh, is that what you used? Does it include the trucks and wheels?
Yes. Yeah. This is one of those models. So.
Okay.
Oh yeah, comes out nice.
Of course, I destroyed the trucks on this one.
Why'd you do that?
So I was in a hurry. I may have already told this story, but I painted it all up and I did some washes on the trucks and was wanting to do some dry brushing. So I wanted my wash to dry a little quicker. So I put a hair dryer on it and my trucks went, Don't use a hair dryer on Delrin. You will not like the results. So this freight car has not made a trip anywhere on the Pike because it has never worked because I haven't been able to find trucks that fit it since.
Oh geez.
Does nobody make trucks?
Well, the thing is, we can talk about all kinds of things that irritate us and we don't like about the hobby. My two biggest complaints about the hobby are trucks and couplers. Now, it might be different in I don't remember hating them as much in like in scale, and it might not be that way in standard gauge, but it's like there's 4 or 5 different types of trucks you can get for narrow gauge. The size of the hole that will receive the truck is different. How you get the couplers in the coupler box or whatever that thing's called, all of that is like there's more than one choice, and I don't have the right size screws to put any other couplers. And if I did have the right size screws to put the other couplers, the screw head might not be the right size for that coupler just little things like that. I just never seem to have what I need or know exactly what I need to get.
Yeah.
Why is there such a
There's my
difference and it's not standardized?
I mean, I don't have an answer for that. And it could just be a lot of my own ignorance too. But like I just ordered some Grant line, which is now San Juan. And they don't have any 3'7" arch bar trucks, which is the standard, I believe, for most everything that's going to be on my railroad. They did have
Truck,
4'8". So can I tell the difference with the naked eye between 3'7" and 4'8" in that scale? I don't know. I went ahead and ordered them, and then I got some Northwest Shortline wheels.
KD doesn't make nothing.
Huh?
KD doesn't make nothing.
They do, but so there's two varieties I think that may or may not work. One comes with the bolster, I guess, the whole thing, and they got little bitty springs, and you have to put them together. And then they also have a 720. Where's it at? I should have one. And these, they're not terrible, but they're a two-piece. And so when you glue them together, if they're not perfect, you can end up with your frames wonky. And then one wheel might not touch the rail like they're supposed to.
Can't say it.
Huh?
There you go.
I don't think I'm going to be able to show it anyway. But
Is
this
that
one ended up getting taken off of one of my cars because it just constantly derailed, and I can't tell why.
Is that a KD truck?
That's a KD. That's a 720.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I bought a bunch of the Central Valley metal trucks.
Yeah, you can't find them.
They're the
just
only
can't
place you can
find
get them on eBay that I know of. And I've
Because
got
I search for trucks probably weekly just to
I've got a
see
slew of
if I
those.
can
Now,
find something.
Yeah, the problem with those trucks is you don't get the molded brakes on them like you get on like a Blackstone truck or something like that.
I could take or leave that.
Yeah, well, I was kind of the same way. The other thing is they sit up a little bit higher, I think. But the biggest thing is the hole in the truck. It's a very small hole because most of theirs were made to snap onto their bolsters. But I don't have any of the bolsters. All I've got is the truck. But they're really, as far as the truck itself, they're a really good truck because they're independently sprung. They're all metal. So they got some weight to them. And I really like them. I had trouble putting any on. I was doing some ore cars. And I don't know if they're going to work for the ore cars because they're a 20-foot wooden ore car. And there's just, I don't know what actually came on that. I probably ought to look in this book and see what size truck those had. But
Dennis, I guess you're going to have to get
So,
a machine your own.
yeah, sometimes it seems
allegedly,
like that.
these are newer 3D printed by Elgato or whatever, and they look better than the ones that I got before. The other car, the Humanity Junction car, that's well over a year old, I think. I had it quite a while before I built it.
Can you just
These
buy
are
trucks
different
from that?
trucks than what came with that. These might actually be good trucks. I don't know. I'm going to find out.
Can you just buy trucks from that guy?
I think so. But
That would be
like
an
I said,
alternative.
the ones that came with Heath's car, and they did not. They're literally like this. Because I think they're three pieces. You got the side frames and you got the bolster that goes across the top, and it's glued together, which these appear to be glued together as well. I think it's just a better design. These look more like micro trains. If you're familiar with micro trains, HO narrow gauge trucks, that's what these remind me of.
Well, what's wrong with those micro trains trucks?
Can't get them.
You can't get them. They don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
How come?
Because HO narrow gauge is about that big of a hobby, so.
Yeah.
But you think that they would just make like a ton of them and just keep them around?
They probably did. They probably made a huge run, but everybody's been buying them because I think I got a package of 8 or 10. I can't remember how many came in it, but I bought one, and a lot of my cars have got them on there.
Maybe you should email them, tell them you want to order 10,000.
Yeah,
I'll make them.
I doubt Microtrains would even answer the email.
Yeah. Yeah, because they'd have to have the molds for them first,
Yeah, I'm sure they
And
still
if they got rid of those, and then you're not going to do it again, because they used to make the full cars, the HON3 cars. I've got a bunch of them, but you have to find them on eBay because they don't make them anymore.
I wonder
why they quit making them. I don't know, unless they just didn't sell enough of them.
Hey, Dennis, Jack suggests Caboose Stop Hobbies
For what?
for your trucks.
Yeah, maybe they might have something laying
She
around.
has everything. Well, yeah, if they can find it in the store.
Yeah, I might go there. I might go there and look. But they've got an eBay store though, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
Call them up.
I think I've been on their eBay store, and
Caboose Stop Hobbies, not what you're thinking. Caboose Stop Hobbies is in Iowa.
they don't have an online store. I mean, an eBay store.
I don't think so. No.
Well, they may not. I don't know. I've not looked.
It's the one that Bill goes to.
Yeah, someone that Bill used to go to.
I was thinking that was the same one.
I don't know. I don't know.
I know they were doing the YouTube deal once a week where they walk around and show, batches of stuff. And if you saw something on there, you just emailed them and let them know what you wanted. I bought something from them that I saw that I was trying to find and couldn't find it anywhere. And they had one, so I bought it from them.
Good morning, Eric. We got Eric from Watch Trains Now in Canada. How are you doing, buddy?
Good morning.
In a while.
Have you with us? But yeah, that's been the whole thing with HON3 until Blackstone came along, and there wasn't a lot of stuff made, especially in rolling stock. You had to buy a kit, put the kit together, and I've got a ton of kits for rolling stock, but you got to build every one of them. And think of it as taking an N-scale car, a little plastic N-scale rolling stock, BoxCar or reefer, whatever, and building that out of wood, from pieces of wood. That'll kind of give you an idea of what it is to build an HON3 car. They're slightly bigger, but not much. And they make a really nice looking model, but they're not easy to work on.
I got a question for Eric. Did you ever get your internet connection figured out in Canada so you could come on the show? I know we asked you a while back and your internet didn't work.
What's up, John 26?
Ooh, our favorite pilot.
But yeah, that's the biggest problem with HON3 is just there's not the quantity that N-scale and HO standard gauge have to buy. It'd be more like trying to model an S-scale because there's not a lot of S-scale out there either.
Yeah.
But if you choose
a
to
scratch
go that
builder
way, then
scale.
you know that going in and just make do. But yeah, for years, HON3 guys had to build everything. If they wanted it, they had to build it. They weren't gonna find one completed, except a brass engine from from Korea or Japan, and then you had to paint it once you got it. Which I wouldn't even attempt to try and paint a brass engine.
Dennis, do you have enough rolling stock, or you still need a lot?
No, that's a whole nother thing. I've been trying to like buy a car once a month kind of thing, depending on the price. And like if I can get a deal for 3 for what I would normally pay for 1, then I'll pick up 3 or whatever. It just kind of depends. But eventually, after the track is laid and the bench work is complete, I will probably start doing a lot more rolling stock building. You know, like if these Gatto models work as well as I hope, I could foresee me buying a bunch of those. They're like $20, I think, a kit.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
And if the trucks and the wheels actually work, that's one of the better deals out there. I would say that's my only concern with them right now is that you're still going to have to buy trucks, couplers, and wheels if those don't work, which is just a frustration of finding what you need. Now, I'll say this: the Grant Line / San Juan, those trucks that I just ordered, they're like $4.25 a piece. They don't come with wheels though. But if I can find a decent wheel set that will go with them, then that would be a pretty economical way if they work. I just don't know if they're going to work or not yet.
Does Tangent or Intermountain make wheels?
Not for narrow gauge that I'm aware of. You can get Northwest Short Line, which is what I ordered, but they're a little more than what I would want to pay. I think Katie makes some. I just don't know if the Katie wheels work inside the trucks.
I was reading this pretty serious, and then you got to the end of it, and it was like, it's not Hun scale.
Hugh, it's no wonder he's got problems with wives.
Oh, that was pretty good. Oh, yeah, that's, just trains in general get you divorced, so.
I would think like the best place to go, Dennis, would be Amherst.
Do they have a lot of narrow? I mean, the best place to go if you were only going to go once would be the narrow gauge convention.
Oh yeah, that too,
Yeah.
probably.
Which happens. I think this year it's in St. Louis.
I didn't know there
Yeah,
was.
I went back.
I think it was in Pittsburgh in 24. I think it'll be in St. Louis, which is somewhat within driving distance. It was in Denver. I was gonna go, but just life kind of had a way of not making that happen for me at the time.
St. Louis is closer.
Not for me. I think Denver's closer than St. Louis by.
It's closer to Pittsburgh.
St. Louis is closer for me, but not for Dennis. Denver's closer for Dennis than me.
Mm.
Yeah, that's because he's quite a bit further west than I am.
Yeah,
so
I'm
he's
4 hours further west. Denver's.
Yeah, you're only about.
Denver's only like 6-7 hours for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, because it's almost 12 for me, and that's going up by your house and then going up. So it's about 12 hours.
How far is St. Louis for you, Dennis?
I don't know how far is St. Louis to you, Claude. Have you been?
Kansas City's about 300 miles, so about 4 hours. St. Louis is probably 5 hours, I would guess.
Well, maybe it's not as far as I
only
think.
Gail says she's up for St. Louis, Dennis.
Well, that's what she said about Denver too.
What's that
Well,
mean?
it also depends. Yeah, for Gail, it also depends on what time of year it is.
Well, that was the biggest thing, is there happened to be a family reunion on the exact same day, I believe.
Ah,
So
yeah. Well, that too.
I
and it's
like,
school-
you know
it's
what?
school
I like
season,
how
isn't it?
I like how Gail is in another room trolling Dennis.
Well, she's in the house. He's out in the barn.
you know,
Well, I mean, whatever, but yeah. Yeah, she's trolling you, Dennis.
She's good at that.
I've been to St. Louis before. It's been a while though. I've been up through the arch and whatnot.
I've not been in the arch. I've been through there many times, but I've not ever stopped in St. Louis. Their highway system there is not
I don't
good.
prefer to go anywhere east of me. West, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Up
Yeah,
until
we
you
went
get
to,
to
well, we
the
went up to
California,
Chicago one
I don't
time.
want to go in there if I can keep from it.
Yeah, we went up to Chicago one time on vacation, and then I've been to Dayton, Ohio a couple times for a couple of fly-ins. But man, crossing that river on those bridges, they're always working on them, and they've always got potholes in them.
Well, boy, tell me about it.
Dennis, you
Yeah.
got to ask the family to change the day of the reunion so that you can go.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that works. Because what day it comes on this year, it probably won't be on the same day it came on last year. So
Yeah, I haven't even looked. One of the main reasons I wanted to go to the convention was to do the layout tours, and I really wanted to do the one in Denver to see some of those layout tours. And one of them was Dave, what's his name? It's hell getting old. We had him on the show one time, Dave Vollmer. I wanted to go see his layout. His was on the tour for the Denver convention. But he's a really good modeler. Steve's supposed to go to Minneapolis. What are you going to Minneapolis for, Steve?
Probably work.
But anyway, yeah, it's the conventions would be fun to go to, I think. But my wife's not going to go. She goes, no, I'm not going to no train convention. She won't even go to a train show with me, so she's not going to the convention.
well, you have to sell it to her in a different way. She, find something that she would enjoy in the city and say, you go do that for this 4-hour block of time. And no,
Man, I don't think that wouldn't fly either. She doesn't really have a hobby. She likes to cook, but she really doesn't have hobbies. She plays golf. She likes to bowl, but she's not going to go do that by herself someplace like St. Louis. So, I mean, she went with, I was kind of surprised that she was so positive about going out on that Western trip that we took, because it was a long time on the road. I mean, we drove a lot of miles. And would you stop? Dogs want me in. We drove a lot of miles in 2 weeks on that trip, but we had a really good time. So something like that would be okay, but she's not going to go to a train convention, and I wouldn't make her go.
Maybe you two guys should go.
Say again?
Road trip. Maybe you two should go. Road trip.
Go on a road trip up there?
No,
Well, that's the thing.
You and Dennis should go.
Oh, well, that could be a possibility.
Gerald, mine does the same
Scratching
thing.
the door.
She considers my live steam a toy. So, yeah.
Who considers it a toy? Your
Well,
wife?
Gerald Stewart says my wife thinks all hobbies are just playing with toys. I guess
well,
is an airplane a toy, or a motorcycle, or quads? I guess
all
those
hobbies.
toys.
Fishing's not a toy.
anything you spend money on other than bills is a hobby.
Yeah. Other than bills and food.
Yeah, other than
What about
bills, well,
dogs?
I figure food is a bill, but yeah.
Yeah.
So dogs are a hobby.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This
I'll
one's
tell her
fixing to be a
that.
dead hobby over here. She didn't quit scratching the door. Come here, Lily. Come here. Come here. I want to show everybody. Come here.
Yeah, let's say
I
hi.
want to show everybody what a pain in the ass looks like.
Oh no, you got
Been 40 minutes. I've made it back to Maroon Creek.
Oh, there you go.
Really? It took
Yep,
40
40
minutes
minutes.
to go on your layout.
Hey, Bernard says his
Well, I still
hobby
haven't made it
was
all the way
women.
around yet. So.
I mean, back to this point.
Oh,
Do what?
Bernard. Bernard says his hobby was women, but it got too expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, Gail. No, I couldn't do that because she's not my dog. She's Brenda's dog. She actually is really a sweet dog, but she's being a pain in the ass right now.
Hey, pain in the ass. I'll give you 2 Frenchies.
No, you won't. When you got that one, I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, now I got it. We got his brother now. So, ooh.
Yeah, gravy. In, out. It doesn't matter what side of the door she's on. She's going to scratch on it.
Steve, you gave up on your train. It's not running anymore?
Nah, he quit. You guys are more fun than trying to figure this out. Nope, it's not running. Like I said, if I had a ton of time to devote, I just start over, but I don't.
What would you do different?
Something
That's a
simpler.
good topic of discussion. What would you do different if you were starting over?
I would do something much simpler, just a single loop that with reliable track and turnouts instead of this montage of stuff with white foam and third hand Atlas turnouts and then trying to build turnouts. I'd do something simpler. This one there wasn't a lot of thought put into this. I just kind of did it on the fly.
But at one time it used to run, right?
Yeah, until I tried to build turnouts and then I set them in the scenery and now they're not working so great. So I'd have to gut, I could take them all out. And if I had time to devote to building turnouts, I could do that. I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do something simpler. There's too much going on here for this
So,
little.
Is it the track plan, or is it the execution of the turnouts and whatnot? Like, is it the materials that you would do different, or
All of the above.
all the above?
Yeah.
So what materials would you choose differently now than you did then, just out of curiosity?
Well, I do more thought into the sub road bed, and I mean this is just sitting on top of a desk with a piece of plywood and then just a bunch of white foam. If anybody goes back to my channel, they can see how I built this, but I did it really on a budget. I wasn't really planning on doing it, but I got a lot of secondhand turnouts and just started doing it. And there's just too much going on here. And then I tried to hand build turnouts. So I took out some of the wonky Atlas stuff that wasn't working that great and built turnouts. And they worked great for a while, but now a lot of the points have broken, and I would have to take the turnouts out and rebuild them, and it would be easier just to gut the thing and start over again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've definitely had to resolder probably a half a dozen of my points. I could only imagine it would be worse in scale, maybe. I don't know whether it
Well, I'm
would be
trying
or
to think.
not.
I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 hand-built turnouts that I put in this.
That probably happens to a lot of people,
Yeah.
They start out and,
All of mine are hand built.
hodgepodge of tracks.
Yeah,
That's
well,
always a little bit of a concern that I have as well.
Well, I would, that's another thing that takes a lot of time is doing, building turnouts. I mean, I can do it. It's just that takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication. And I don't think I would really want to put that much into it. But I think if I was doing this over, I'd get some, the good, flex tracks, some good, turnouts, and
Is it sectional
just
track or is it?
no, it started that way, and a lot of that got ripped out, and then it's all flex track.
Yeah, part of the problem is he's got it in kind of in an area like you've got, Dennis, where it's not always a constant temperature.
No,
So
it's always
he's getting a
Yeah,
lot of
that
fluctuation there, and that just
that
screws. It
plays
doesn't
hell
matter
on
what kind of
track
track
for
you got in.
sure.
and sometimes it gets pretty cold in here because
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend the money to put a heater out here to keep it constant.
Yeah.
The only concern I have as far as temperature is when it does get really cold. If I've got a hard freeze where we're going to get down below freezing and it might here, I will kick a heater on out here because I don't want anything on that American to freeze. I did winterize it, so there shouldn't be any water in any of the lines, but you never know. And
Yeah.
live steam and freezing doesn't go together real well. So I do make sure that I keep it warmer, when the temperature is going to get really cold, but it does fluctuate too much. But no, this thing, and it's small. I mean, it's, there's just like a little 3 by 3 foot box that I'm sitting in. So it's just a pain in the butt.
Well, there's not a lot of, I've been in that room. There's not a lot of room in there. It's an N scale layout, and he's got a lot of layout in that very small space. So there's, like you said, there's a lot
I tried to
going
do
on.
too much. I mean, if I wanted to go through and really spend the time to tweak it, I could, but I just don't have the time.
Well, sometimes too, if you just tear it all out and redo it, you can do it like you should have done it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
And you learn
Exactly.
that lesson
And I would do it right. I'd do something, more, what's the word? More consistency in the building of it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's really no, there's some Atlas turnouts, there's some Pico turnouts, some hand built turnouts, and I tried to do it, really cheap in the beginning, and it just,
Yeah.
better off doing it right from the beginning.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff I'd change on mine.
Yeah.
I would go smaller first of all, and I would have a lot less hidden track.
Right.
Now, there's not a lot of track on mine that I can't get to. Very little of it that I can't get to. Now, it's not always easy to get to it, but almost all of my track, if I had to, I could get in there with a bright boy, say, and clean it.
Well, and
but there are
that's
places where that's really inconvenient to try and do.
yeah, and
that.
that's another point with this thing. Like I said, it's built on plywood, and in the back, you saw how I did the mountains. I have to take all the scenery mountains off to get to the track under there, which is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something. If you're getting ready to build a layout, is make the hidden trackage minimal, or if you do hidden track, make the access to it easy, because that's the one. It's hard to do.
The one huge question mark I have about Hellgate, but what little bit of narrow gauge hidden track in there, I'm not overly concerned about, but the standard gauge that I've got there, I've got one turnout in there. If points break on it, I'm not going to be able to get in there and fix it. So eventually I'm going to take Hellgate back off and finish it. I'm going to think about maybe doing that. I might just go ahead and remove that turnout and just have one piece of track in there. That way I wouldn't have to worry about having any moving points at all. I've got the one turnout that's dual gauge, that there's nothing mechanical about it. It seems to be working perfectly. But even getting in there and cleaning it is a little bit of a concern.
Yeah. Well, I've got the seam brake. The last seam brake I put up is a tunnel under I can't really get into. It's not very long. It's only about 1.5 feet long, and there's nothing in it other than just a piece of flex crack. But there again, I still can't get in it to clean it other than using a cleaning car of some sort.
So there's a lesson to be learned here, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, make it easy to get to maintenance stuff. Now, what I did do when I did the mountain, I have no turnouts in the mountain. All the turnouts are outside the mountain, so I could get to them if I had to. But I have stuff inside the mountain, like the electric eyes for the automatic turnouts that go in on the 2 loops and on the standard gauge are inside the mountain. So, but now those are just LED electric eyes, so I should not have a lot of problem there. But those are in a spot where I can't get. One of them's in a spot I can't get to. The other one I can get inside the mountain and get to it. And I can get into the helix. So somebody was telling everybody in the chat that I've got a helix inside a mountain. I do, and I can get to all that track. It's just not real convenient to do so. It's not really super hard to get in there, but it's not really convenient at my age.
And I have a Nolix
ability. Huh?
I have a Nolix.
Yeah.
And no helix.
Yeah, the way Dennis has done it's much easier, and that's originally how I was going to do mine, but I wouldn't have had enough room to get enough linear footage to get to 2 levels. There's just not 2 separated levels.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that.
You need some real estate to get
luxury of doing that sort of thing.
Well, so and also with mine, my grades are anywhere from 2 to 3, and I think I got a 4% here too. So trying to get this track plan to work, I had to have some pretty steep grades, and that also is something I changed.
You know, Steve, as an engineer, you would think that you would like have designed it better. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, do a dig to you, but like
you've been digging me all day. What are you talking about?
He drove the trains. He didn't design.
I didn't build the railroad. I just ran on them.
I know what it was like to operate them, and
yeah, but to get the track plan that I wanted. With the limited space, I had to go with the steep grades to get over it.
Yeah. I think like one of the things that people do is like they have these big plans in their head and they put them down and they don't work, right? Instead of thinking it through. I think, and I'm not saying that that's what you did, but I think that's what a lot of people do.
Well, and also this originally was a single main line, and if I'd have kept it that way, it might have been fine. But then I went to a double main with crossovers, then put in a yard, and it just was trying to pack too much in the space. I mean, it looks fine.
And I think that's the biggest problem that model railroaders make, is trying to do too much. They get some. I'm guilty of that. The one thing that I wanted was a dramatic scene. Yeah. Well, I got that, but now I'm having to deal with the consequences of having done that without thinking about.
And this track plan, if I was to redo it, I could duplicate the layout completely, and it would run good, but it would all be done properly. With the proper track, proper turnouts, but
I think we get that image in our head, and then we realize once we get to putting it in, we don't have enough room for that.
Yeah. My thought on that is, speaking for myself, I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but if you get in a hurry to get the end result, that's where the problems come in. I want A, B, and C, and I want it now. So you just do, and you will gloss over some of the more important things that you should have done along the way.
Right.
That instead of doing, because it was time consuming, you didn't do. And just like this, I went ahead and sealed all of this with Varathane. Dennis 10 years ago would have said, screw that, put it together in one day, because I want the end result.
Yeah.
I'm not in such a hurry now for the end result that I'm willing to slop through things. I try and be very methodical about what I do so I don't have to redo it.
I mean, like Sparky's a pretty good example of that. And I know we're almost on the show. Like he built his layout and used cheap plywood, and it went south on him, and he had to tear it out and redo it.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say, Dennis, if you go back and watch Dennis's whole thing, because I've been watching Dennis since he was putting the finishing touches on the building itself before you started the layout, before you did your time savings.
Yeah, I think you were watching before even any sheetrock came up in here.
And Dennis has done how it needs to be done. Take your time.
I've tried. I'm not going to say I've been successful. I've tried.
Well, yeah, we're all going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all going to screw up, even when we're taking our time. We're going to do something that we didn't want to do, and we're going to tear it out and redo it. But Dennis is doing all of the stuff, like it comes to mind right off the top of my head is the wiring.
Yeah.
He's done the wiring properly. That and his track work, he gets perfect before, well, almost perfect anyway.
I don't know. Did you see that track work last week?
Does anything to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my next video, but the video after. It'll be the first video of next year. Will I think that video is going to be called Track Expansion, dealing with track expansion. So I go through that, which that's just one of those things. You don't really know how things are going to turn out until the room does what the room does. Most, like anything on the plywood, I have tried to do out in the summer when it's like 112, right? And then you bring it in here, it should, because the air conditioning should shrink back. So then in theory, when you turn the heat on in the wintertime and it expands back out, I have had very little problems with anything that I've built out there. All of my problems have been on the runs in between, where whatever the room was when I put it in was what it was when I put it in. So you just really don't know what your track is going to do until you go through a season, hot to cold, cold to hot, running the air conditioner, running the heater. So that's another reason, word to the wise, don't do scenery on your track until after you've seen what it's going to do, if you're going to have a lot of changes in temperature.
Yeah.
Because it's going to change. There's really no avoiding it. Even my turntable, my little whoopie-doo cheapo turntable, I need to cut a little more of the rail off of it because it won't spin anymore because it's expanded so much, even though I've cut it once already. So it's just part of the hobby, is dealing with track expansion and contraction.
Yeah. But there again, if you build it right where you're able to get to stuff, and then you take your time doing it, you find a lot of that stuff before you get covered up with a mountain or other scenery.
Well, and Dennis, you did it right. You were looking around corners before you ever built anything. You were all planning ahead.
Yeah, I definitely tried.
Yeah.
Although there's definitely some things that I would do different now had I known this was going to be a layout room, because remember, this was going to be a studio. It was going to be a recording studio. I would have completely done the woodworking shop differently so that I could have 2 staging yards, you know, an end point and end point where the staging yard is right next to a termination yard. So that you're bringing a train from staging into your first yard, modeled yard, and then the same thing on the other end, which I kind of have, but the staging yard for Cloud City is going to be like around the corner from the yard there, where this staging yard is 40 feet. So that's going to be a little bit of a operational quirk in how the layout runs, how it operates. And I would definitely look at that a little bit differently than I did at the time.
Well, that's our time, guys.
So next week, it'll just be Dennis, right? Dennis you'll be away.
Well, I'm not going to do a
I'll
show
be
by
gone.
myself.
Well, no, I know that, but you'll
That
be
would
away,
boring,
Claude,
right?
Yeah.
Claude,
I
you'll
should
be
be
away.
here.
Yeah.
Claude will
And you
be
know how to
away.
get a hold of them.
Will you be here, Jerry?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if there's 3 of us, we'll do a show. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, get somebody to come on the show.
Maybe
Yeah.
Bill will be on. I'm sure.
Somebody volunteer to be on the show with them.
I'm sure that bad influence, Steve Childers, he'll come on.
Yeah. Since I'm hosting next week, if you're in the chat right now and you'd like to be a guest, hit me up on my channel, or I think my email address is in my channel in the about section. So you can find my email and email me if you're interested.
All right, everybody.
I asked if I tried to get Sparky on a couple of weeks ago, sent him a message on Facebook, but he's probably like me. I don't check my Facebook very often.
He's busy. Everybody,
Yeah,
have a good week.
we're all busy. Right?
Yep. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Hey, guys.
Everybody chat, have a good rest of your weekend, and a good week. And I'll see you in 3 weeks.
Have a good time, Claude.
Oh, I'm
Happy
sure
New
we
Year.
will.
See
Y'all
ya.
take care.
See you, everyone.